Welcome back to our afternoon feed here on the Isle of Anglesey, the most picturesque racing circuit in the UK, and our race meeting run by the best club in the UK, the British Racing and Sports Car Club. My privilege to present for the third time for them this year, and what a meeting we've had already. Yesterday, full day of BRSCC Championships, plus the Guesting Legends cars were in action as well, and things culminating with the Citroën C1 4.5-hour race courtesy of Silver Lake. Really good race, and feel free to watch that on catch up, but don't leave us right now because our live stream continues this afternoon. If you're with us this morning, we've got not exactly the same but similar. The only difference this afternoon is we've got two Legends Cars races for you to look forward to. They did their first race of the day this morning. They have a 3-race format, top point score over the 3 races winning their round. So what else have we got? We've got the BMWs. We saw drama this morning as championship leader Mikey Doble had an engine blow. So just to update you on what happened there, Mikey's seeing if he can get the engine changed and back out to defend that championship lead in their 3rd race of the weekend a little bit later on. There might be a silver cloud in the lining for him because it's a reverse grid race. So it's possible the top 10 might get reversed, and obviously if he's off the back, he's closer to the main championship rival. So we've got the BMWs to look forward to. We've got the XR and STs. We've got Formula Ford, the contemporary Formula Ford, the super classic Formula Fords. We've got the Nankang City Car Cup, the Legends I've mentioned, but you can probably hear the wonderful sound of the MSA British Superkart Championship coming onto the grid. And to call the grid and indeed the race, let's welcome Gary James.
Good afternoon, everybody. So welcome to the 3rd and final Superkart race of the weekend, and I'll quickly run through the grid as the karts go out on their warming up lap. Grid positions determined by the fastest lap from the earlier race. So on pole position with another lap record from the earlier race is the 0 kart of Liam Morley, who's joined on the front row by the GP of Lee Harpham. Row 2, the 1 kart reigning champion of Ross Allen, and the 7 kart of Andy Gulliford. Row 3 is the 42 of Alan Withrow and 9 Andy Waite. Row 4, 57 Mark Pask, and the first of the 250 Nationals, that's the 101 of Lee Plain. Row 5, 35 Samantha Hemshaw and 49 Michael Parr. Row 6, 29 Tom Hatfield and the 43 of Sean Lombardo. Row 7, the 125 of Luke Plain and 6 John Faulkner. Row 8, we see the first of the Formula 125 Opens, that's the 55 of Ross Withrow, and he's joined by a 250 National of 161 Richard Connick. Row 9, 89 Shane Stoney and 87 Jack Tritton. And row 10, the final row, is 83 Paul Von Gerard and the 62 of Andy Powell. News from the earlier race is that say John Faulkner, the 6 kart, drops out. Still having a sort of few engine issues of misfiring that one, and Jack Tritton, the 87 kart in 125s, we saw was slowing, and he changed engines this morning, but a carburation issue slowed him up. So Jack Tritton lucky to get a 3rd place in that. Andy Waite we saw slowing. He had some wheel studs came loose on his kart, had to make a pit stop, the 9 kart, but Andy Waite managed to get back out into the race, and albeit it was a lap down, but managed to finish 8th in class. So that's the news from the back end of the grid. At the front end of the grid, well, Liam Morley, 2 starts, 2 wins, maximum score so far, and effectively has won the meeting as regards Division 1 goes, but would still like to get a 3rd win under his belt to deny Lee Harpham the chance of obviously getting a maximum score in this race. The pace car lights are off. We will be going for a start this time, another 12-minute race, so probably over 9 laps that we've seen so far this weekend. Is it going to be another lap record from the 0 of Liam Morley, or will the GP of Lee Harpham manage to get the win? As they say, come round the final corner, 2x2, slow first gear rolling start. And away we go, and it is once again, I look like the 1 kart of Ross Allen looking a bit racy up the inside as they go through the first corner. It's Morley from Harpham, and we've got 4 or 5 karts off in the background, and that looks like the 9 kart of Andy Waite, the 57 of Mark Pask. Michael Parr also involved in there. I think that's the Sean Lombardo 43 kart, and is that Richard Connick or is that Luke Plain? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's Harpham up the front that leads the way from Morley. It looks like all the karts getting back onto circuit. So Andy Waite, certainly in the silver coloured kart, back up and running, but up at the front it's Harper, Morley, Ross Allen, Andy Galliford, the 7 kart there in 4th place. Looks like the karts are going to be, there's one kart still on track and double waved yellows there. Now obviously if you can't get that kart started, that is in a dangerous place. That looks like it is the 101 of Lee Plain. So the championship leader in 250 Nationals out already on the first corner, but Lee has already got 2 wins under his belt, so it's only going to be the pride of not getting 3 wins, and I think we're going for a red flag in this one, or double wave, safety car coming out. So I think Lee Plain is hoping that he was going to get that fired up and started, but Marshall's in attendance, so safety car being deployed as the leaders come round, and we should see the safety car picking up the leaders as they do. Yes, around the banking for the first time, so behind the safety car, nicely picked up. I think that the 101 of Lee Plain is going to be able to get back out into this race, but as I say, Lee Plain already got 2 wins under his belt this weekend, so it's only a case of adding another win, but could obviously increase his scores over the weekend. So just briefly, while we've got a safety car issue, the points in the Division 1 Championship coming into this final race of the day, it's level on 90 points each for Lee Harpham and Liam Morley. 3rd place in the Division 1 category at the moment is the 1 kart of Ross Allen. 4th place at the moment is the 7 kart of Andy Galliford. And 250 Nationals, it was the 101 of Lee Plain on 100 points, and Tom Hatfield sitting there in 2nd place on 73, and Samantha Hempshall, after her 2nd place and a 3rd earlier on today, moved up into 3rd place in the championship, 3 points ahead of the 43 of Sean Lombardo. And in the 125 category, Jack Tritton, the 87 kart, leads away from the 89 of Shane Stoney. And 3rd place in the series at the moment is the 97 karts of Tom Riley. Tom unfortunately not here this weekend. Caught the unfortunate COVID-19 last week, but he's fit and well at the moment. We decided to play safe and not risk anything this weekend. So the 97 of Tom Riley not in attendance this time. So safety car brings them round at the end of this next lap. There's still 3 karts parked on the outside of the first corner, and I think the marshals are happy that they're in a safe place. All the drivers are out and in a safe position, so the lights have gone back out on the safety car. So obviously the clock unfortunately still ticking down, so we're coming down to 8 minutes already, and safety car pulls into pit lane, and it is the GP of Lee Harpham that will be leading them across the line, single file across the line on the restart. Green flag's being waved and Harpham leads across, but Liam Morley tucks up nicely in slipstream as they go through the first corner. And is Morley going to make a move as they go up to the banking for the first time? But no, it's still the GP of Harpham from Morley. Ross Allen there in 3rd place. And Andy Galliford, the 7 kart, holds full spot as they head onto the back straight for what will be the 3rd time. The difference in the earlier race when Morley was losing ground in the early stages, that the tyres were actually taking a bit of time to come on, but Morley looking to move at Rocket, but not quite close enough to get up the inside. And Harpham was struggling a little bit with getting the power down earlier on today, so I think he's made a few changes during the first race and the second race of the day, but he knows he's got his hands full with the 0 kart looming close behind him. And I can see that the 101 of Lee Plain has got running, so Lee Plain up at the back of the field, so the 101 has managed to get the engine fired up and back out in this race, but obviously A lot of work to do to get to the front of the 250 national class. Morley looking for a move up the inside at the hairpin, but not quite close enough. And next through, in fact, it's Luke Plain, the brother of Lee Plain, that's leading the 250 national category, with Samantha Hempshall climbing all over his rear bumper. So that's an interesting battle to look out for. That's the 125 kart and the 35, but it's still Harpham from Morley and Ross Allen at the front. Morley still looking to get past Harpham as they through heaven, but Morley and through the bank, then Morley takes the lead as they go onto the back straight for the fourth time. So that seemed quite an easy pass for the zero kart to make. So has Lee Harpham got a slight problem there, because certainly Morley has managed to gap him already by about 5 kart lengths. And Samantha Hempshall has pulled off the 35 kart. Samantha Hempshall, that was lying in second place in the 250 national class, in trouble and pushing the kart off circuit. So what a shame for Samantha after such a good result in the earlier race. So that leaves the 125 of Luke Plain to lead the class. In front, it's still Morley, and Morley extending his lead, and now Harpham possibly getting caught by the 1 kart of Ross Allen. So Lee Harpham needs to be careful that he's going to defend that second place, because 2 lots of 20 points already, as Samantha Hempshall still trying to drag her kart into a safe spot, aided by the marshals. But as the leaders come across the line to complete 4 laps, it's Morley who sets the fastest lap so far, 1:23.312, not quite as quick as his lap record pace. Harpham now 2.1 seconds behind, and he's only half a second ahead of Ross Allen, with Gulliford still there in 4th place. It's Luke Plain that leads the 250 nationals from the 29 of Tom Hatfield. Alan Withrow a long way back in this one, lost quite a few places on that opening lap, but Alan Withrow trying to make up places, the 42 car in the twin cylinder category. John Faulkner going better this time, 8th place, the number 6 karts, and it's Shane Stoney, the 89 kart, that leads the way in the 125 class. Faulkner now got Lee Plain on his tail, so that's the 6 from the 101 as they head up towards Rocket. It's still Luke Plain that leads the 250 nationals, coming under pressure now from the 29 of Tom Hatfield. I suspect that Lee Plain will try and use John Faulkner as a bit of a tow to try and bring him closer to the front of the 250 national battle. Morley that leads the way in the Division 1 categories. We pick up the leaders in 250 national. That's Luke Plain from the 29 of Tom Hatfield and the 42 karts of Alan Withrow. Alan's had a good journey across the Irish Sea, gets the twin power past the 250 singles as he comes into the final corner, but not quite. Luke Plain chops across the nose, so that's a change of position on track, but not in class. So Alan Withrow looking for a move as they head up towards the banking for what will be the 6th time, gets the move done. So it's now for Luke Plain to use the tow from the twin to try and drag him away from the 29 kart of Tom Hatfield. Those two well clear of, let's see, that's going to be Richard Connick, looks like. He's in 3rd place, the 161 is in 3rd place in the 250 nationals. It's a side-by-side between Plain and Hatfield as they go up towards Rocket, and there's not much room there, but it's still Plain that holds on to the spot. Hatfield gets it a little bit sideways, but Hatfield now right on the rear bumper of the 125 kart. Plain obviously would like to get the win in place of his brother, but Tom Hatfield, a very seasoned campaigner, finished 3rd in the British Championship quite a few years back, but Tom Hatfield part of the successful Parker Motorsport team, and teammate Sean Lombardo unfortunately was one of those drivers caught up in that first corner incident. But it's still Morley that leads the way up front, zero kart pulling further clear. Yellow flags being waved, I can see. Is that at the first corner still? Rocket, 6 laps under his belt. And the gap last time around over Lee Harpen, 4.3 seconds. And Lee still safely there in second place, 3.3 seconds now ahead of Ross Allen. Adam Withrow now up into 4th spot. Run this time up into 7th place on the road as Andy Powell goes through, and still leading the 125s. It is now well, I can see Jack Tritton has now pops up into no, Jack Tritton's pulled out, so leading the 125, sorry, is the 89 of Shane Stoney. Has Jack Tritton got another issue with the carburation? So Jack Tritton drops out now after 3 laps. Well, 9 times a British Grand Prix winner, won the O-Plate at Silverstone last year, finished runner-up in the CIK European Superkart Championship back in 2019. And both Liam Morley and Lee Harper have been racing against each other in also in the 125 category a few years back. They both dropped down to the 125 category and had some great scraps over the course of a couple of seasons. I think Lee won one of the championships and then obviously got it snatched away from by Liam Morley. So these two drivers have raced against each other for several years now. Long season campaigners now in the Division 1 category, as Morley comes up to lap the 62 kart of Andy Powell. This is going to be the final lap because we're down to last lap. Board has gone out, checker flag being readied for the 0 karts of Liam Morley. Comes through the final corner and it's 3 starts, 3 wins for the O-Plate for Liam Morley. Great weekend's work for him. Crossing the line in second place is the GP karts of Lee Harpen. As we wait to see the 3rd place finisher, here he comes. That's the red distinctive Jade kart of Ross Allen. And then looking further back, Alan Withrow comes into sight, but I'm trying to pick up the battle in the 250 national category. And Tom Hatfield has got ahead of Luke Plain. So a change of position in 250 nationals. It looks like, oh, and Ross Allen has pulled off very quickly after the finish. And Luke Plain, Luke Plain dives inside Tom Hatfield on the last corner and takes the win in 250 nationals. I don't think Tom Hatfield was too happy about that. Here comes the 125 winner. That's the 89 kart of Shane Stoney. In only his 2nd Superkart race, made his debut at Cadwell Park early on in the season, but a good win there for Shane Stoney in the 125 category. Now, did Ross Allen get a problem after he crossed the line? Because certainly took the checker flag, but pushing the 1 kart back into pit lane. And Lee Plain eventually pulled up to 4th place in the 250 national category, but as he'd already maxed out on the 50 points that he could take from this weekend. But the winning class going to his brother. The carts come back into Parc Fermé area, and I think Richard will be trying to get some words with the 125 drivers this time, as the 3 karts of Lombardo, Michael Parr, and I think that was Mark Pask still stranded on the outside of the first corner. So the results, the win goes to the 0 kart of Liam Morley. 2nd, 5.6 seconds behind is Lee Harpen. 3rd goes to the 1 kart of Ross Allen. 4th was Alan Withrow in 42. The 250 national win went to the 125 kart of Lee Plain, just ahead of Tom Hatfield. 7th was the 6 kart of John Faulkner. 8th, a very good 8th, and 1st in the 125s was the 89 of Shane Stoney. 9th was 161 Richard Connick. 10th and 2nd in the 125 category was the 83 kart of Paul von Gerard. 11th was the 62 of Andy Powell, and 12th was the 1:01 of Lee Plain. We lost Andy Gulliford a couple of laps from the end, but hopefully Richard will be able to get a quick chat with Shane Stoney. He spent a lot of his time racing car racing, and unlike his dad, didn't actually come through the karting channel. So Shane Stoney will be looking to inform Richard of his first win of the series. So we'll go over to Richard in the pit lane for interviews with the top 3 and 125s.
Well, here we are down in the podium, or on the podium, with Shane Stone. I'm going to drag Shane over. Paul's busy taking some pictures as well. Hello, Shane. We were talking about different drivers and how things pan out for me when I'm at race meetings, and I think when Mikey Doble in the BMWs is on the same meeting with me, he never does terribly well. This guy, when I'm commentating, he always seems to rock up with the race win. First race win in karts, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I'm happy with that. Second meeting, first race win. We had a pole as well, so yeah, it's going all right.
Many congratulations on that. So, firstly, why the move? I mean, I've covered you in all sorts of things, so you're vastly experienced, whether it was minis, radicals, Ginetta, over the years, and now karts. So tell us about the move.
It's something different. It's a new challenge, and you know it is a big challenge. I'm surprised at how different it is. I mean, the only contrast to cars I can think of is it's got 4 wheels and a steering wheel. It really is. It's like everything I know from the cars is no good to me, and it's a strange feeling because you know we're going in there, like especially around here. This track creates a lot of understeer for a kart. In a car, I'd know exactly what to do to change that. In this, it's you know it's a different ball game, but you know it's good. It's great working with my dad on this because you know this is what my dad did. He ran these karts for 25 years, so you know to get first win in karts, yeah, it means a lot, especially wearing his leathers as well. You know.
I was going to say because they don't look like brand new leathers for someone who's just moved into the championship.
Yeah, these are my dad's old ones. So somehow my dad got in these. I don't actually understand how. You know, so. But yeah, no, it's good. I don't know what happened to everybody. Everybody seemed to sort of stop behind me, but I mean, I felt like we had the pace to be on for the win.
I think the results have been going up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a learning curve. I mean, I spent most of the last race learning how to brake properly. So, you know, I'm not braking late enough, and I'm not coming down the gears quick enough. So, you know, it's a real challenge. And unlike in cars, you know, you can't go out on a track day and spend 6 hours pounding round. You know, I probably had maybe 2 and a bit hours in the kart. Yeah. You know, first time I drove it was the Saturday test at Cadwell. You know, before I'd never even sat in one. So, you know, it's a real learning curve, but I'm really enjoying it. And massive thank you to, well, my dad especially, but even like Jack and Tom at Cadwell, they were giving me loads of advice, and you know, Ross Allen as well, he's been giving me, and everybody at Anderson's as well, because you know they've been helping us out a lot.
The advice only continues to start beating them.
Oh, it's all right for most of them because I'm not in the same class. But,
sure.
Yeah, you know, it's good fun. I'm enjoying it, and you know, I'm looking forward to getting, you know, going to tracks that I know. I mean, I've not been here for 10 years, so you know, I've been looking forward to Donington. I think we're doing a race at Snet, hopefully, and you know, tracks that I know a lot better. Yeah.
Shane, sorry to cut across you. We've got a Legends race to get out, but great to see you. Yes. And I want to grab a quick word with Paul as well. So thanks, Shane. I'm sure you appreciate that. Paul, sorry to keep you waiting. Well done, Shane. Good to see you. Congratulations from a newcomer into the championship to someone I've seen your name on the result sheets many years. Congratulations on P2, and great to see you here. Talk us through your weekend, really.
It's been a bit of a mixed weekend, really. We've not had the best Friday. We're doing all right, and then we went and seized it, trying to run in an engine, and then yesterday we were having some issues with sort of water temps and things like that. But you know, at the end of the day, we finished 3 races, and that's what gets us the points. You know, finish first you have to finish, but I'll take second any day as well. So
yeah, absolutely right. It's interesting, isn't it, for the race fans that are out there watching this, either on stream or on the banking. We'll see through the results, so you've got 3 finishes, but the backstory, as you say, is a little bit more complicated than that. A lot of work to go in, and as Shane pointed out, karting isn't somewhere where you can just rock up and do a track day or qualify or practice anywhere.
Not quite as much, no. You just got to do all your prep beforehand, just trying to get yourself fit, keeping well, and then it's sort of doing your studying at home, watching the YouTube videos, seeing, you know, what the lines are taking, and then hopefully by the time you get here you can try and ace it. But it's always difficult, isn't it, until you get your bum in the seat. You go, oh yeah, this is how it goes again. So yeah, it does make it a bit more difficult, but I mean, a track like this is it's an amazing track. Absolutely love it. You can't beat it.
Fantastic place to visit, isn't it? Looking forward, when's the next event and where?
Snetterton, sort of mid-July time. So yeah, that should be. It's always a tough track, Snetterton, but yeah, should be good. Yeah, and I'd just like to thank also sort of Mark and Ross at Jade, who've been doing helping us out. My trainer Jacob, who's trying to be getting me in fit and in shape, and also to my dad. This is quite a good sort of happy Father's Day gift, because he's been working behind the scenes tirelessly, and I rock up on race day and we do the best we can, but he does a lot of hours. So yeah, thanks Dad.
Nice one, great sentiment. Paul Von Joe, well done. Second position, lovely to meet you, and congratulations on the podium, and thanks for talking to us. So that's our 125 Supercar. What a nice thing we've done, and thanks to the Superkart team for facilitating the fact that we spoke to the overall winners for race 1, the 250s race 2 and the 125s for race 3. So we've given everybody a fair crack of the whip in terms of the podium presentations this weekend. A few ex-karters are actually now racing in Legends cars, and they are in the holding area, and I think we'll have Scott with the grid for you in just a couple of moments.
Well, indeed. First of all, thank you to Gary James for his commentary on the British Superkarts this weekend. Knows infinitely more about Superkarts than I do, so it's more than better to him to let him cover those races. But indeed, we're back to cars and back to the Legends National Championship, where we had an excellent Heat 1 earlier on. It's same as it was yesterday. We're going to Heat 2, and then, of course, that will then start to decide the scores that will set the grid for the final later on this afternoon. So, as we get set for action here in race number 2. The grid, of course, is set by a random grid draw. It's not set by qualifying times, it's by a random ballot. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and find the grid for race number 2, and then be able to tell you exactly who should be starting where. So just to head up the circuit. Earlier on, of course, the Heat 2 was won by I can try and remember that. Miles Rubban, that was it. Miles Rubban in car number 1. Had a bit of a brain blank there for a second. But Miles Rubban took the victory. He's the points leader coming into this weekend. And defending champion, of course. But as we look at the grid then, this is how they should line up. So, there is a rather familiar name that's managed to, fortunately, draw pole position, and that is the legend himself, or legend of legends, and that is John Mickle. He starts on pole position in car number 4. Alongside him is Chris Needham in car number 98. Then it's Luke Dekushis and Mike Schlupp on the second row of the grid. And that's followed by Nick Bridgman and Ollie Schlupp on the third row. And then Dan Clark and Will Gibson will be on row 4 from Gareth Sheridan and Chris Brockhurst, as that rounds out the top 10. Marcus Pett and Nathan Anthony are next up on the 6th row, ahead of Mark Beattie and Jack Parker. And then from row 7, we've then got Mark Beattie and Jack Parker. Then row 8 is Ben Higgins and Eduardo Gego, who had that spin next to the final corner on the last lap. Miles Rubban, defending champion and Heat 1 winner, is back in 17th on the random grid draw, alongside Steve Whiteleg, who was also on the podium with him in that race. He's then followed by Kieran Beattie and Luke Simmons on the 10th row of the grid, followed by Paul Simmons and Dylan Woodcock. Then Charlie Budd, Stuart McAndrew and Mick Mercer round out the 26 cars that will be taking, or 25 cars that will be taking at the start for this second heat. Through onto the formation. That, of course, running in 2x2 formation. I'll be hoping that it's going to be quite a strong race out there today as we go onto this following the runyourfleet.com safety car. As they make their way through, it should be, I imagine, quite a exciting race again, because we've got this jumbled up grid. You've got drivers who are a bit further back that should be further forward. Of course, the front runners. That's the magic of this random grid draw format that we have with this one. And this should be quite an entertaining race, I have to say. So they start to bunch up late, up to the international hairpin, and now we will see how this race is all ready to play out. We've got 25 legends ready for another 8 laps in their second heat of the weekend. We're going to get racing underway very, very shortly. Hairpin. And into the pit lane comes the safety car, and we now get set for race Heat 2 of day 2 of racing for the National Legends. They had their 2 heats of the final yesterday, same format as previously. And let's see how this race prepares to shape up. So it is John Mickle on pole position, and certainly in the position he's in, you'd have to say that he is, in many cases, the favourite to come away with victory for this one. Now onto the pit straight he goes. We now look towards the starting gantry where the red lights are on. They go out any second now, which they do. And away we go. Down towards turn 1, jostling for position as they turn into the left-hander. And it is going to be, at the moment, the lead for John Mickle as they turn down towards the complex at the hairpin for the first time. And it looks as though, in fact, actually, Chris Needham has taken the lead on that side. So Chris Needham then goes up towards the top end of the, up to a lead in race number 2. And then we go into the right-hander of Church down the back straight. So 98 then is Chris Needham. He leads the way. Second place, John Mickle. The 55 car of Luke Takushis is currently sat in 3rd. And that is again problems for Ben Higgins in car number 20. He had issues at the end of race 1. He didn't make the flag. Unfortunately, the short break between races has meant that it hasn't been able to get back out and make that happen again either. So I'm afraid that... Oh, and there's more contact up at the hairpin. That's car 13's going around. That's Jack Parker. Jack Parker, that's one of the notable names that's gone around. Made contact with somebody in the midfield, and round he goes. There's another car that stopped on the exit, was just to the left, a shot out of the camera. So unfortunately, yeah, 2 cars getting back together again. I can't quite catch the number. I think that might be 85. It could be Mark Beattie, I think, and the other one is one of the different shaped. They're just not the Ford Coupe body. It might be one of the Dodge or Chevrolet ones. Meanwhile, leaders back towards the hairpin for the first time. Big lock up for the man in 4th place there. That's with number 14. That's Dan Clark, who's putting a massive flat spot onto his tyres there, chasing after Will Gibson. Head down side by side into the hairpin once again, into the left-hander. And there goes John Mickle back into the lead. So Mickle then takes the lead. He's then 2nd place for the 98 of Chris Needham. 3rd place now for Gibson. And then 4th for Pett, 5th for Clark. It's Bridgman. Then the 7th place man, which is Mike Schlupp, who he started 4th from the grid, dropped a couple of places back to 7th. Nathan Anthony in the van-bodied first for Van's livery car. That's the bright yellow and blue car that's just in the middle of shot. 7th place. And then 8th place then for the 89 car of Rock Horses. Rock over the curbs on the exit of Church, and now the sprint through School Curve. They go side by side, right leg and Rudman. Rudman's got a good run here. Got past the number 9 car Ollie Schlupp as he tries to go through with him. But Rudman, of course, started back in 17th on the grid, so already starting to carve his way through. He's inside the top 10 pretty easily. He was 11th across the line. He's got past the 9 and the 89. And now his next target is going to be the number 3, and that is, no, in fact, the Anthony car's got Nathan Anthony in the van legend is just ahead of him. Rubber wastes no time diving up the inside, and Anthony gives him the space, and that's another position gained. So John Mickle then continues to lead the way on lap 2 of 8 in this. It's a 5th race of the Legends for the weekend, of course, but the 2 heats in the final are different for each day. So you had Saturday's heats and final, and it's a different set of races for Sunday. But of course, it's only the final where you start to score points towards the championship. Any points that you score in the heats are only to determine essentially the aid towards the decision of the starting order for this race. There goes the 68 of Nick Bridgman. John Mickle sets the fastest lap of the race. Bridgman now under threat from Mike Schlupp in car 3. That's the kind of black and grey camo liveried car. Ben Gibson, the 20 car Ben Higgins is parked to the inside of turn 1. As there goes Miles Rubman up the inside of Mike Schlupp. That's another place gained. That now puts him into 7th position. Nick Bridgman's going to be the next target in P6. And then it will be after that Dan Clark in car number 14, who will be the one to look out for as he currently holds a 5th position. So, while John Mickle leads, the man we've got to watch out for on the move is Miles Rubman. Also trying to make a move is Will Gibson on Chris Needham. And Gibson sweeps past in 2nd place. Meanwhile, the black car there, just with the little yellow accents, that was the number 1s on the defending champion and points leader Miles Rubman. So they come up out of the Rocket Complex and back into Peel again. Goes the 79 car of Marcus Pett. Now they come down the back straight once more. Hairpin they go down that short back straight towards the bus stop once again on lap 3. We're coming up towards half distance now in this very short 8-lap race. And let's see if anyone can try and depose John Mickle on this one. There they go. Will Gibson takes the fastest lap of the race. Our leaders come back out onto the back section of the circuit. I can see that Will Gibson's got really good momentum here. Last lap he was some 3/4 of a second quicker on that lap, hence the fastest lap, and now he's got straight into the toe. Marcus Pett latches onto Chris Needham here, and immediately there goes Will Gibson for the lead. Down the outside into the Rocket Complex under brakes, and he uses the old switcheroo at the exit. Tries to get the inside line, goes all over the curb, but Mickle gives him room, but doesn't allow him to have all the room in the world. So he gives him enough to get round the corner, but not enough to try and use all the track to make that move stick. So that was clever driving from John Mickle. There's a reason why he has done this so many times as a multiple champion, but he really is vastly experienced in these cars and using all of it to full effect at the moment. Down the back straight. Now down the outside goes Will Gibson. He's looking for the move. And Mickle will try and fight back, but he gets a little bit sideways, trying to get the power down. He's quite desperate to try and put himself alongside. And I think he just about managed to get himself level if he could. But Will Gibson does, in fact, make the move stick, and he goes through into the lead here of Heat 2 of the Legends Cars Championship with MRF tyres. Battle for third's not too far away either. That's a scrap that's still going on between Needham and Pett at this point. And again, Mickle looks to the inside line, trying to make it through. Nose to tail, still Gibson with Mickle all over him. Also there in 5th place, watch out for Miles Rudman. Now he has picked off not just Nick Bridgman, but also now Dan Clark, and now he's rapidly caught up to the back of these cars in front. His last lap was the fastest out of the top 5. It was a personal best, 1:42.678. It's the second fastest lap of the weekend, of the race so far, I should say. There's the top 5 sweeping through. Dan Clark in 6th, Bridgman 7th. Mike Schlupp in 8th, Anthony 9th, Ollie Schlupp in 10th. Side by side, we've got Steve Whitelow back on the way with the 25, wheel to wheel with Luke Simmons, one of the rookie drivers in the field. As Richard mentioned, some of these drivers are quite used to the way these cars handle, and they're quite nippy and agile and nervous because they come from the world of karting, where in many cases, many of the karts are nippy, agile, and sometimes a bit nervous and on the edge when you're really pushing them. Down the hill and turn their way back through the corkscrew again. Now the top 5 are pretty much together now on the back straight, led by Will Gibson as they make their way down towards the hairpin for what is now the 5th time. Now come out of the first couple of corners. It's all 3 for the lead, 3 for 3rd place now. You've got Needham, Pett and Rudman who are scrapping on for 3rd, 4th and 5th at this point, and they're still trying to close into these top 2 who are just ahead as well. As spectators watch on the bank, we see the cars make their way down towards the Rocket Complex up the top of the hill. And let's see if Gibson can continue to hold on to this lead. He's got a few more to go, and there goes Miles Rudman with a big dive up the inside, just behind the marshal's post. We saw that out of view for a split second. Rudman does get it stopped. He does it just before any contact. Now, that's interesting because there was also I just spotted the back and there was a car off, parked on the runoff area on the outside of the rocket complex. Now I wonder, Miles Rudman, now did he make that overtake under the yellow flags? Because if he did, there's a yellow flag out there. Now I wonder, if he did do that, either he's going to have to be told to give the place back, or if he doesn't give it back, he will receive a penalty for that. So that's going to be very interesting to see if that comes to fruition or not. If it does, that's the car that stopped. It's car 321 that stopped, and that is Dylan Woodcock, starting 22nd. He was on pole for heat 1 earlier on, but it looks like he's hit troubles. So I think because his car stopped, if Miles Rudman, I think he's more caught up in, he might well just race on and see what the outcome is, but he's now on the back of the number 4, John Mickle. And now they come into the penultimate lap of the race. Rudman now going on the attack of Mickle. Gibson still holding the advantage as they turn up through the banking for the penultimate time. And again, all three of them tucked underneath each other's rear bumper bars. Given they're that close, it's going to be a double toe for Miles Rudman, never mind a single toe off of John Mickle. He'll also get one from the leader. Mickle pulls out, he's got the momentum, pulls alongside through School Curve, but even so, he pulls out into quite a wall of air. And then what he does have, and now to his left-hand side, Miles Rudman, but again, now he spots the yellow flags. He can't pass there this time. Double waved yellow, so he realises that. Now, I didn't catch a glimpse of what it looked like in the background when it came to them going through that complex. If there was yellow flags, then unfortunately it's something of a slam dunk, but we'll have to wait and see. The Miles Rudman car in that third position, top three are covered by half a second or so. Here goes the John Mickle again. This time he's got the inside line, but again Gibson tries to break a little bit later, but he's been forced onto the outside line by Mickle, who manages to press the issue and make his way through into second place, and it is third for Miles Rudman as well. Down the hill onto the final lap of the race, and let's see if either Will Gibson or even Miles Rudman have got the opportunity. But of course there is, I think there's a bit of a cloud of doubt potentially over whether or not Miles Rudman made a pass under yellow flags. He's not worried about that for the moment. What he is worried about is trying to make it up to the leader, even second place. Gibson goes wide and wide into the banking, down the outside. He's got the grip, he's got the momentum. Can he make the move stick? He won't have the racing line for the ideal line for the next corner, because it's John Mickle who holds the inside for Church. Miles Rudman now sticks his nose up the inside for second place. Can't quite make that one stick, but again, Will Gibson this time tucked straight into the slipstream of John Mickle. Was bump drafting through School Curve. And watch out for fourth and fifth. Got Needham and Pett swapping positions. Needham still ahead of Pett here. They might be a factor if they come into play in this. There's still double wave. There's a single wave yellow now down at the hairpin, so they can't pass. That's a passing opportunity gone. Can't make that happen. Do they have anything else left? In through Peel for the last time. Now down the short straight towards the Tom Price straight towards the hairpin again for the last time. Wheel to wheel for the Heat 2 victory. There are points at stake. Kieran Gibson does go deep on the outside lines, try and make it stick. There might be a tiny bit of contact between the top two. Mickle forced him, there's contact, off the road they both go. Gibson off into the tyres, so has gone John Mickle. That will be seriously affecting their points. Now, Gibson's gone off into the tyres. Mickle's carried on in fourth. Miles Rudman, he might have a potential penalty for a yellow flag hanging over him, will come across the line and take victory after all of that. The Heat 2 of the Legends here on Sunday. Second place for Chris Needham and third for Marcus Pett. Fourth is John Mickle, who manages to limp across the line in fourth position. And then it's still battling for fifth. Clark is fifth, Bridgman sixth, Anthony seventh, Whiteleg and Schlupp across the line. And then it's this last top 10 spot goes to the Luke Simmons, who's in car 25 as well. There's Will Gibson. He's managed to haul the car off the tyre barrier. He's quite damaged. He will pull it across the line. Now I'm certain that would have been to me, not playing diplomat for the sake of it. I think it looks like it was possibly just a simple racing incident. I think the two cars came together. They were racing hard on the last lap. It's for position. It's for the lead. There's going to be always a risk of some kind of contact or rubbing. I don't believe there was any malice in either any of those. I think it was simply just a simple racing incident, and that's it. So that, I believe, is all there is to it with that. And I'm sure that both John Mickle and Will Gibson will be quite cordial to each other when they speak about it shortly. So the cars then make their way up the hill to enter the race, and there's the result, and a result that Miles Rodman probably didn't expect, but the one he was hoping for, which was a victory in heat number 2, and that means that he should take, I think, minimum points going towards it. He might well get pole position, but then drawn towards the back for the final. So Rodman wins, Needham second from Mickle, Pet Mickle, who recovers after that incident, Clark, Bridgman, Anthony, Steve Whiteleg, Schlapp and Simmons. Then it's Ollie Schlapp in 11th place, Paul Simmons 12th, Jack Parker after the spin recovers to 13th. Then it's Charles Budd, Kieran Beattie, Gareth Sheridan, Chris Brockhorst, Will Gibson, Mark Beattie, Eduardo Gado. And then it's Mercer, Takushis and McAndrew with the 23 that finished. We lost Dylan Woodcock and Ben Higgins, unfortunately. So Will Gibson also takes the final lap of the race as well. So it also takes the fastest lap as well in that race, which might possibly count for something in the end. So the cars make their way around at the top of the hairpin and back into the top 3 will go into our victory lane, where there'll be Richard John Neal will be waiting for them to have a chat. As for our rest of our team, the squad there will go into Parc Fermé as they'll go in. Of course, one more race to go for the Legends. That is their final. Of course, they'll tot up the points from the first 2 heats and then decide the grid. And what happens with the grid is then the driver with the lowest amount of points, they'll completely reverse the order. So whoever ends up with the lowest amount of points, essentially he's the top man who should be on pole. They'll reverse it so that he starts backwards, and then they'll work up to the drivers with the highest number of points from finishing in the lowest position, in the lowest positions in the field, so towards the back of the field, will end up on the front of the grid, which will make it very exciting, as it was yesterday for the 10-lap final. So our top 3 in that second heat of today for Legends Cars Championship with MRF tyres is in victory lane, and also down there to have a chat. So then once more is Richard John Neal.
Miles Rodman's birthday celebrations continuing, absolutely superb for Miles. He doesn't seem to like an interview, does he? I'm gonna go and drag him over. So come on, Miles, let's get you over here and have a chat. And of course, the difficult feat that Miles has done is to come through and take a second win. Remember, 3 races in the Legends each meeting, just shaking hands with Chris Needham there as well, who winds up in second position, Marcus Pett getting the other podium. And it always makes me laugh, actually, with Miles. When we're doing our media training, we tell the drivers, Miles, I'm just saying, when we do media training, we tell the drivers to zip up the overalls, and no, don't worry, mate, you be yourself, that's the main thing. But you're always well, there we go. We also tell people to do that as well. Miles, so not a bad birthday run, 2 wins out of 2. And of course, it's harder, isn't it, for race 3, because you're going to be off the back. Now, what happened on that last lap? Was that behind you? Did you see anything in your mirrors, or was it in front of you? Because I was unsighted.
No, well, I was third going into the hairpin, and Will went for the lead. You know, which I wouldn't blame him to do, because I'd have done the same. And unfortunately, they just touched, and they both sort of come off. But yeah, I mean, I was there, you know, and yeah, fortunate for me, managed to pick up the lead and take first place.
Sometimes it goes that way, doesn't it? Sometimes you can get some bad luck, but you're having a very good run at the minute.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've got to be there anyway, you know, and yeah, you know, I had quite a long start at the back, managed to get through, catch Sean and Will up, and yeah, we was all fighting for the lead, really. So it made it pretty difficult, because going up the long straight here, there was yellow flags, so you know, I set up a pass, but I couldn't do it, so I had to be patient, and yeah, unfortunately for me, it came my way in the end. So yeah, like I say, you've just got to be there to pick up the pieces. So yeah, it was great, and another win. it's great for us.
We love seeing you three racing on track, but we like to see you all finished as well. I know you do too.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we always try and be respectful with each other because you know we want a clean fight at the end of the day. So yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. It's close racing, and unfortunately, things like that happen. So yeah.
I'll let you get ready for the final, or race 3. Good luck, Miles. Congratulations. 2 excellent wins today. Miles Rudman. So we'll talk to Chris Needham. We'll get him over. Danny, the cameraman's now got to change because Chris is taller, so this makes life difficult for camera. Chris, well done.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you. I think the first time I've done a podium interview with you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is with you, yeah.
About time as well. Nice to see you. How'd it go?
Yeah, not too bad. Struggling a little bit for grip now, run out of tyres this weekend, so we had to return them on the rims that time, spun them around. So I was struggling the first half of the race for sure with back end grip, but then it started to come to me a little bit. But when them 3 are at the front, I just sit and wait and see what happens, and a couple of them ended up on the grass, so we picked up 2 places at the end there. A little bit lucky, but we've got to be there to take it. So
you were at the sharp end most of it. Now you're in a team car, aren't you, this weekend? You're showing with Matt Isherwood?
Not this weekend, no. I'm doing the full weekend this weekend.
No, but over the season.
Over the season, yeah. I share that one with Matt, and I share the other car with Gareth. So
plays havoc with my stats because I've got points on one number for you and points on another number.
Yeah, that's
but I'll let you off because it was a good drive.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cheers.
You enjoyed Legends though?
Oh yeah, the racing's absolutely fantastic. I mean, you see the supercarts are here today. That's what I've moved from. A bit more space in between the karts when you're racing, but these things, yeah, the racing is just absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
More tyre rotation going into race 3 then?
No, I think now they've settled down a little bit after that first half of the race. I'll just have to go again and see what we can do in the last one.
Brilliant stuff. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Chris. Well done. Great to see you on the podium. Second place. Marcus Pett, second podium of the weekend, I think, if I've not lost count. Well done, Marcus. Good to see you. Second podium of the weekend.
It is indeed. Yeah, no, it's a good way to continue on Sunday, so we'll take that. We had a good run in the first race to 6th, I think. So, yeah, we worked our way through the pack again, up to 3rd in that one.
A lot of drivers talking about tyre degradation. It was an issue yesterday in the C1 endurance race, so using road rubber. Is tyre degradation an issue for you, as it is for some of the other Legends drivers as well?
Yeah, the car's certainly sliding around more towards the end of the race, so I was trying to save the tyres for the last couple of laps to get stuck in, but unfortunately a double wave yellow came out at the top of the hill, which is the best point for an overtake, so that kind of neutralised that attack. But still more than happy with the results. It's a shame about the contact between the front pair on the last lap, but we'll be there to pick up the pieces.
I won't ask you whose fault it was. I'll leave that for the clerk.
I think so. I didn't see it, so yeah, I'll let that be there.
Good man. What we did see was you get a podium. Marcus, well done. Great to see. Good luck for race 3.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Marcus Pett there, completing our podium. The Nankang City Car Cup cars are coming onto the track from the holding area, and Scott will be able to give you the full rundown of the grid and a preview of what we're about to enjoy. Over to you, Scott.
I can do indeed. Thank you very much, Richard. Good to see our British Superkarts, our Legends, wrong championship. They'll be back, of course, for the final as our last race of the day today. In the meantime, we've got more racing coming up, and we've got our set of 3rd and final races, shall we say, because most of the championships that are here coming up for the races next are running their 3rd and final races of the weekend. The first of that schedule